actually buy that thinking that, oh, when I have a big car, kind of jobs I will get will probably be bigger because of how people see me. You get? So some people, I think we have to change their perception generally.
Now,
the celebrities have that mentality. You have to look big to get big cash.
it depends. See, you're correct. You're correct. But then, no. Let me clarify something now. What's your goal? What are you trying to sell? If what I'm trying to sell determines that I have a big car, then getting that big car is not a liability because it's going to help me bring something in. So the same way a car. You won't
be able to sell any land.
A guy selling the land, the banana cannot drive a Corolla.
Exactly. But the same way, exactly. If not, nobody will look at you. Exactly. The same way a car can be an asset, it can also be a liability. The same way a house can be an asset, a house can be a liability. I said something earlier that imagine if you have 20 million naira, I'll buy a house, I'll do this. I had one argument with someone at work, about buying, why don't you buy a land and build a house and live inside? I said, well, if I can buy a house, I don't think I will go and live inside that house. I own the house, you own the house, you're living in it, I'm renting it out. Who is making money?
Where would you be living?
Was I not living somewhere before I bought the house?
So you continue living there?
Yes. Until that 5% can solve the house, my dream house. It's not easy.
It's not easy, man.
I'm not saying it's easy, but
It's not easy, man.
no, it's not easy.
Is it 900k per day? 45k for you?
Yes.
You will earning 900k per day and you will stay in Osaka?
45,000 naira per day. That's actually what. That means I can afford to leave that place from getting.
Yes, of course.
You understand what I'm saying?
You have your flat in your house. Like, why you have to go out?
Sorry?
Pay someone rent. Where you can just have your own flat.
No. Understand the fact that you started from somewhere, meaning you must have been staying somewhere where you're paying rent in the first place. And then you have enough money. What most people will do is, I have enough money to buy a house. Why a house and I'm going to live in it? That's what most people do. In fact, people take loan to stay, to go and live. And they call it assets. They call it assets. That's after all, I now own it and I don't pay rent anymore.
Well, it can be an asset because when you take a loan,
yes, that's your personal decision.
that land, and someone comes.
No, I'm not. That land is different. I'm talking about house to live in. Yes.
Someone comes and offers that.
Continue staying with
That is different. But I said living in it. No. Uzo, see the difference. That's why I say it's better to.
The loan and
No. Uzo, understand what I'm saying. I say buying a house and going to live in it, and then buying it and probably renting it or selling it. There's a difference.
By the way, it's your own point of view because everybody has their own. That's why I said. But
I'm looking at it from another angle.
Target what you actually want.
It could be that you're buying it, and then you're living in it, and then you're saving the money you're using for rent. Maybe you collected a loan to pay for it.
See, let's do a calculation. I've checked out. Listen.
If you look at it,
listen.
First of all, what's the average rent for people living on the island there for like a 2-bed?
Yes, like 1.2.
1.5.
Up to 1.5
1.5,
average.
even 2 million. Okay, 1.5 is average. So now, if you buy a house, depending on the amount, if you buy a house in Nigeria, for example, buying a house in Nigeria is like 30 million. 30 million, 35 will get to your house. And 1.5 million.
35.
For like how many years?
For a year.
Huh?
Okay, you are trying to calculate.
Okay. So that's what I said. It depends on
wait.
people's
Let me
own-
go. Calm down. Let me point out something that you're missing. Now, instead of me buying that house of 35, I have 35 million naira now. Instead of me buying that house for 35 million naira. Oh God. You know what 35 million naira can get me in a year if I invest it in something else? I can still be paying my 1.2 million naira rent for that year, but I have a vision that look, if I tie this money down in a house and just to go and live in it, that house is not going to be getting me anything later on. This 35 million naira, I can be getting extra, if I invest it more, I can be getting extra 10 to 15 million naira
No, I understand what you're saying.
from that 35 million naira.
One point is, I understand what Raphael is saying. One point, it doesn't make sense if you just hammer 35 million and you can buy house. To me,
But what she's saying
doesn't
is
make
that
sense.
if you hammer 35 million and it's a, for example, block of flats, and why can't you stay in one and rent the 3?
No, that is
I don't know what
different
I
now.
said.
No,
That's
no,
different.
that one is different.
that one's different.
That's, of course, that is
If you
different.
hammer, if you, it
But-
depends on the amount of money.
See,
The amount of money that you get, you can
that is
you can
different
remove,
because
like, some
that's
percentage
actually an asset
and do
now
what you
because
want.
you have other things that are paying you. That's actually a very good way, you know.
Personally,
What I actually told the person then was, look, since you're buying a food, why not divide 30 in half plot, you know, sell it. What the amount you get from selling down, you use that money to build another one. Do you understand? So from your point of view, it's a very good way of doing it. But what I am against is two people. One decide that I have so amount of money, because that's what most people think. Unfortunately, that I will buy a house or take a loan to get a house so that I will stop paying rent. And that's where it ends.
You do what?
It doesn't make sense.
Say that again, please.
So that I will stop paying rent. That's what most people do. In fact, banks actually go to
Encourage
different
that.
companies to encourage that. To say, oh, you can take so and so amount of.
They know they're making their money off.
They're making
you.
their money
It
off
is
you
what
now.
they
That
do.
interest
This
is their money.
reality. So people actually think that. It was an argument I was having. Like, no, don't worry, I want to get this house so that I can, and I'll stop paying rent.
My personal point of view is it depends on the amount of money
That you have.
For example, if you do one mad deal, and this Nigeria, you can do one mad deal, earn like 200 million. You can afford to bring out 50 million and buy a house. Use the remaining money and do what you want to do. This investment.
That brings us back to that 5%.
Yeah,
That's exactly.
you can, but not when because
Not when you
200
have 20 million.
You don't say, Banana, they just carry everything and give
Carry
one man. The man say,
170
this guy is insane. You get,
You know,
it depends, like, there's some
And
percentage
most
that is
people will carry that 200 million and give somebody just to live in Banana.
yes, that's the truth.
Some will play naira.
That's why I say that is what most people see. That if you understand that, if you understand that 1% of the people
200 million
controls
205 million.
99% of the wealth, that will tell you that most people that you see around that you think they are rich are not really rich, no matter where they live. Most people that you see around that you think they are rich are not really rich. The few rich people are there. Why the rest? They think they are rich because of the amount of money. It's just like if $1 million come to my account every month, I will feel rich. But if at the end of the month $999,000 leave my account, and at the end I'm getting 0 point something, am I really rich?
Your account is just a transfer.
But trust me, for that 999 to be leaving my account, that means I probably lived a rich life.
Let's not confuse stinginess with invest.
What makes you rich?
He said smiling now.
Do you know what makes you rich? Do you know what makes you rich? Financial freedom.
Say that again.
Financial freedom.
Yes,
It's more like a term, but
No.
already a lifestyle.
No. What makes you rich is, do you know why you cannot call yourself rich if you're enjoying your money? Do you know why? If you're being no. Understand?
And I'm
No.
in the bank.
Understand where I'm coming from. Understand? Not put it. I never encourage somebody to put money in the bank.
Investing.
No, let me explain to you. I'm telling you.
Yeah, they're making
It's
money
not
off
doing nothing.
They're making money off you.
Now, yes. Now let me tell you what I'm trying to say. Let me tell you what I'm trying to say.
At crazy interest.
Making money.
No, leaving us alone.
You're earning money from somewhere, a good job, and you're living a good life. If that source of income to cut, where are you?
You're in soup.
Have money. Okay, you invest in something, you get money back, yeah. And so you have that money somewhere, you want to invest in another thing. Now, if you have this day-to-day job, 9-to-5 job, yeah, that pays you well, and so that source of income cuts off, maybe your company, whatever happens, then
That's different.
Then you have this your investment,
that's working for
giving
you now.
money and
Exactly.
keep reinvesting and all that.
Yeah.
That's just that regular sort of income for two. Now you have long-term assets. You have fixed assets, not current assets. So if I really want to do something, if I want to probably take a course that will be very expensive, probably in Ivy League University, and my assets are mainly fixed assets, I can't really get them out immediately. I can't turn it into cash immediately.
Can I pause you there? Sorry. Now, it's your choice to get a fixed asset or not. Asset is asset. Anyone you want to get. Now, let me tell you what the rich people do. They get what I call passive income. Passive, meaning something that will continue generating money as the day goes by. If I have a shop today, if I have a shop today here, I know that every day I'm getting something out of that. I have that to multiply in 100 places. If my job stop paying, inflow. You see, it's all about inflow. Exactly. So they will take that money and put it in that pit.
They end up at 100 million.
So
take that money.
What most people do now, getting your asset now is not you to decide how you want to play it. What most people do, you're poor, you don't have money, all your money, you're not easy to buy land. Then you're going to, because you feel that 10 years later, that land is going to, so you're going to live 10 years a very poor and wretched person.
Because you're hoping that
do you understand?
But
people do it. People actually do it now. A lot of people
take loan now from office.
Yes, to buy land, and they will leave. They cannot. They will come and be borrowing you money to get married and all those kind of things.
Buy land. They'll be hoping. They'll be reading news.
Guess what?
When is Lagos coming to this place?
Do you know the problem with that? But do you know the problem with doing that? I can only advise people to do that when you have enough. Just like what Uzo said. By the time you develop enough capital, you can now take some chunk, throw it into this asset, because you know, say 10 years time, this will what, carry another chunk, throw it into this side. Because if you do that, let's just say I get a land. What if
buy your land?
What if in 10 years time there's a natural disaster that area is no longer sellable, and instead of it being more expensive, it become more cheaper? What then happens to your whole? You're gone. You're gone. You understand? So instead, put your assets for passive.